my god, I can feel the media. It's going through my veins. Culture. Oh, it's a hot bitch. Oh my. George Cooper. George Cooper. God rest your soul. God, I miss George.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark.
YouTube Shorts is what I call the proverbial blood-sucking parasite of the platform, okay? For one, it doesn't even need to fucking exist because it's the worst of the big three short apps. Instagram, way funnier than YouTube Shorts. TikTok, I don't know, I don't really go on TikTok. And despite this, YouTube still manages to favor, unintentionally or not, the short form content on this platform. They get what I call short slot privilege. What do you have to say about that? That's great. More specifically, what I'm going to be talking about today is the copyright favoritism on this fucking platform for short apps, okay? Copyright, boo, scary man, dum dum dum. Shut the fuck.
Always getting deeper while my shit getting harder. I ain't even gotta make it, I don't even gotta barter. Yeah.
Ever since back in like 2017 when Ethan Klein had that infamous lawsuit about fair use, YouTube has kind of been spitting in the face of it. There's a couple reasons for this. One, they have robots checking everything, so, and two,
They're big stinky poo-poos, okay?
there's this YouTuber called LS Mark who is much more popular than me. LS Mark is a YouTuber, puts a very impressive amount of effort into his videos. He actually covers like entire series like Family Guy. He reviews every single episode and gives an analysis at the end. They're like 8-hour videos. And he also manages to get dicked down by YouTube like every single time. I'm subscribed to him, so I have his community posts, and every single community post before he puts out another video is I had to re-edit the video because YouTube took it down for copyright, which I think is the biggest load of shit since like I don't know, a giant cart of shit. None of his videos ever contain like any audio or like just a isolated clip that's out of context or anything like that. Most of the time it's just him talking over a muted clip of the show that is literally the context of what he's talking about, which falls under fair use.
Och så det jag kan talk about
Now you can dick down LS Mark, YouTube, that's fine, but at least be fucking consistent about it with all your fucking forms of revenue. What? Okay, I heard you. I'm home. I'm a grown-ass man, by the way. I mean, I sort of know how this feels because I've done movie reviews before, but I'm also kind of a little bitch, and I'm like too scared to actually put in the, the clips of the movies because I'm afraid I'll get like struck down by God. Tons of creators have had to deal with going back into their video and re-editing it and blurring a background or muting a fucking clip or getting rid of a clip entirely. And with YouTubers like LS Mark, whose videos are like 8 hours long and probably take like almost the whole day to upload, this is like an actual fucking painstaking process. But do you know who never has to deal with like any of that shit? YouTube Short. Adventure time, come on, grab your dick. The double standard is frustrating. I feel like the law is enforced in the opposite way that it should be. One of the arguments that a few people use is that long form content makes more money than short form content, so therefore they're stealing more money from the studios. The most frustrating part is that it's literally the opposite case. So let me sit you down here, Mr. Man, all right, Mr. Cute. You got a fat ass. 10-hour movie retrospectives on Penguins of the Madagascar probably reminds me of Penguins of the Madagascar, which means Penguins of the Madagascar does not fade into obscurity. What I'm trying to say is retrospectives create fandom around the movie or a community, which is the most valuable thing you can have for a franchise. I mean, look at Star Wars. You think it would be as big as it was if there weren't a bunch of fucking nerds always talking about it and going to conventions and like dedicating their entire fucking life? And is it really that big of a deal if some guy with 10,000 subs makes like fucking $3 off of your movie, with the movie that you, by the way, probably made like 400 million? Even a bad review can bring new eyes on top of your project. I mean, look at Anthony Fantano when he reviewed Corey Feldman's album and he gave it like the shittiest rating ever. It still probably got a lot more people to actually listen to his album than it would have before. Now maybe it's hate watching, but there's probably some really mentally awesome guy who was like, this shit is the fucking bomb, bro. And because of reviews and retrospectives and long form content, I feel like media lives longer than it ever has. Shows like King of the Hill, for instance, got a revival and it came back to a ton of fanfare, even though the show ended like over a decade ago. Before the internet age, you would have to like buy VHS tapes of the old shit and like watch it yourself, and which I doubt as many people did. But do you know what actually probably does steal viewers from a show? I would assume it would be YouTube Shorts. Now, you might try to argue with me that YouTube Shorts helps you discover new movies, which, sure, maybe for a small majority of people it does. Most of us are getting Dr. House clips and then never watching the show. Another example for me is Young Sheldon. I'm never going to watch the show Young Sheldon where it's actually streaming because I get every single clip from the show that's ever existed. Now, I know you could probably just be like, yo, then stop fucking liking them if you don't want to see them. But I don't have a problem with the idea of posting clips of a show. It's not an issue to me. It's just the unfair treatment that is stupid. I don't like hypocrisy. Not only this, but YouTube Shorts also just like kind of promotes faceless people who are just clip farming shows and not putting a single ounce of passion or effort into any of the shit they do. Instead of like protecting the interests of your individualists and your creators on the app, like me, because I'm really very awesome and I bring a lot of money to this platform. You're welcome, by the way. Okay, I may not bring money, but I'll bring biceps. That's all I need. Remember this, kids. Biceps bring you happiness. That and a loving family. I truly do miss the YouTube days, which I wasn't even barely conscious for, to be fair. You know, individual creators were like the forefront, okay? We got pushed out videos by, you know, Markiplier or like a fucking other Markiplier or Green Markiplier or the other Markiplier. Now I'm just like mindlessly scrolling through fucking clips of TV shows out of order, so I don't actually get the message from the show that they're trying to give. My final question to really drive home my point of this segment would be this. If I watched an LS Mark video, who I've been, you know, bringing up, about King of the Hill, would I say I watched the entirety of King of the Hill even though he reviewed every single episode? I don't think I would. Now, if I watch a shit ton of naked clips on, okay, that sounds bad.
Naked clip.
Now, if I watched a shit ton of clips on YouTube Shorts of the show unedited and in random segments, I feel like I could probably say I've watched more of the show that way than I have watching someone talk about it. YouTube is kind of like the United States of America, where it started off great, but as it got bigger, it started to become very out of touch with what their people actually want. I think it's because, for one, the people that are like in the high ups of YouTube, the CEOs and the executives of YouTube, are so out of touch what actually happens in the real world and what people actually want out of the app that they literally don't know what the fuck to do, and they manage to make the wrong decision every single time because they prioritize short profits over, like, you know, long-term success. It's like in the same way where people, you know, get fast food because it tastes good right now, but then, you know, later on down the line have a massive cardiac embolism and fucking tip over and die. I feel like they don't have a clue of what the majority of the people on the app actually want. Like, do you think we want like the entirety of the screen to be fucking YouTube Shorts, even on the desktop too? The desktop? What the who's watching Shorts on the fucking desktop? And the worst part is you can't even turn it off. I can't turn YouTube Shorts off unless I use a Chrome extension, which I do use, but I shouldn't have to. Now you might be like this, Bradley, you don't have to watch the YouTube Shorts. No one's making you watch the YouTube Shorts. Okay, that's like telling a drug addict, you don't have to take the heroin. No one's making you take the heroin. Sometimes I do want to watch an unedited fucking clip of Young Sheldon because I'm taking a shit and I'm bored, okay? But is it good for me or the people who made the show? No. So freaking smart, dude. I'm so smart. So smart. I gotta say this, dude. YouTube, if you only had YouTube Shorts, the traffic on this app would be like cut in probably 3/4, dude. No one's coming to YouTube specifically for YouTube Shorts. You just put that in to rake in money because to capitalize off of like TikTok, which I wouldn't even have a problem with it, but you're favoring it and you're putting it in forefront compared to like the people who actually built the platform, which are the people who make, like, you know, these freaking horizontal videos, not them dirty verts.
If it ain't so,
My epic conclusion to this video is YouTube is very out of touch and really needs to brush up on his copyright system. It kind of treats the long-form creators who built this platform like fucking Serbs from the Soviet Union. So I'm gonna be the Lorax tier 1 seller right now, Mr. Tube, okay? Sure, now you're making a bunch of money from these shorts and you're getting that short-term revenue and basking in glory, but one day, there's gonna be another app that comes along and actually treats people right. And then you're gonna be in some deep shit. Now, who are we kidding? Google's just gonna buy them out.